All right, we're going to start today having you seat on the mat. So just finding that comfortable spot on the mat, either legs crossed, legs out, and popping up to let someone in. And start to close your eyes. Letting those hands just come to wherever's comfortable. And again, we'll close the eyes and start to focus on the breath. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Taking a deep or shallow breath as is comfortable to you. Taking that time to start to recognize the breath. Taking a moment to see how it makes us feel by just focusing on it. Also taking this time right here to start to let our days go. Start to bring ourselves into our rooms and onto our mats. So just take a few moments here to focus on that breath. Taking just a few more deep inhales and exhales here. And on our next exhale, we'll start to let the head drop down, bringing that chin towards the chest. Letting that head hang here for just a moment, allowing the back of the neck to stretch out. And then slowly just start to roll that head from side to side. Staying in front of the body here. Taking our time, rolling through all those kinks and cracks that may happen in that neck. And the next time we get over to that right side, we'll hold that head over that shoulder. And then take that left hand, place it down on the mat, just giving that little bit of extra stretch in that neck. And then take that hand, place it back onto the lap, and roll that head over to the other side. Holding it over that shoulder. And then take that right hand, let it come down onto the mat, down by your side, getting that little extra stretch on this side. And then we'll pick that hand back up, place it in the lap, roll the head back and forth one more time. And then letting that head come back to the center, tucking that chin to the chest. And we'll add that little extra weight on the back of the neck. Take those hands, interlace them behind the head, placing them down on the back of the head, opening those shoulders wide, and then slowly start to let those shoulders come in towards the face. Again, this is too much weight on the back of that neck. Feel free to release those hands down. Couple breaths. And then slowly release those hands back down to the lap. We're going to take the head, slowly start to lift it up. And then take that chin, bringing it all the way up, pointing it up towards the sky, stretching out the front of that neck. And then let that head come back forward. On an inhale, we're going to bring those shoulders up, roll them down the back. Inhale, bring those shoulders up, exhaling them down. And inhale up, exhale down. A couple more times here, inhaling up and exhaling down. And inhale up and exhale down. And now we'll roll those shoulders forward. So we'll inhale them up, exhale, bring them forward. Inhaling up and exhaling forward. And inhale up, exhale forward. Couple more here. Inhale up, exhale forward. And inhale up, and exhale it forward. Let those shoulders relax down. Take the hands alongside the body. Inhale, bring the arms up. And exhale, take that left arm down to the mat and just lean over that left side. Stretching out all this down that right side, opening all the spaces between the lungs, between the ribs, and sending that breath there. And inhale, bring ourselves back up, lifting that left arm up. Exhale, drop that right arm down and fold over that right side. Again, feeling that stretch all down the left side of the body here. Taking those deep breaths, sending it into those spaces between the lungs. And inhale, coming back up, lifting that arm up. On the exhale, we're going to drop both arms, twisting over to that left side, letting those arms come down. Bringing that gaze over that shoulder just as far as is comfortable. Waking up the back here. And on our next inhale, lifting those arms up, coming back forward. Exhale, dropping those arms, twisting over to that right side. Again, only bringing that gaze over that back shoulder as far as is comfortable. And take those deep breaths. And then on that next inhale, coming back forward, lifting those arms up. Exhale, turn those palms away, let those arms come down. We're going to slowly make our way up onto those hands and those knees. However we get there, take your time. Line everything up here. And then tuck those toes behind us. And we're going to lift those hips up towards the sky, coming into a down dog. And then pedal those feet here, lifting one heel, dropping the other. Wake up the backs of those legs. Taking our time, moving back and forth, holding one side, and then switching to the other. And then let those feet come into stillness. Take a breath here. And on the next inhale, walk those feet up to the hands. Folding ourselves over the legs. Putting a little bend in those knees. And then taking those hands, placing them on the thighs, slowly roll ourselves all the way up. Stack those vertebrae as we come up. Bring that head up last, roll the shoulders down the back. Let the hands come to the side, opening those palms up nice and wide. Close the eyes. Take a deep inhale. And exhale it out. Opening those eyes back up. We'll inhale, bring those arms up, bring the gaze up towards those thumbs. Exhale, open those palms out wide, swan dive over the legs. Inhale, slide those hands right under those knees, coming halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step those feet back to that high plank or drop down onto those knees. On the exhale, coming all the way onto that mat. Untuck those toes. Inhale, lifting that chest. Exhale, down. Inhale, push back to that down dog. Take a breath here. On that next inhale, walk those feet up to the hands. Fold over the legs. And inhale, come all the way up. Bring those arms. Exhale them down. Inhale the arms up. Gaze going up towards those thumbs. Exhale, open those palms wide. Swan dive over those legs. Inhale, sliding those hands, coming halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step those feet back to that high plank or onto those knees. Exhale, coming all the way down. Untuck those toes. Inhale, lifting that chest. Exhale, down. Inhale, push back to down dog. Take that breath here. On the next inhale, walk those feet up to those hands. Fold over the legs. And inhale all the way up. Bring those arms. Exhaling down. Inhale the arms up. Gaze going up towards the thumbs. Exhale, open those palms, swan dive over the legs. Inhale, sliding those hands, coming halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step those feet back to that high plank or onto those knees. Exhale, coming all the way down. Untuck those toes. Inhale, lift that chest. Exhale, down. Inhale, push back to down dog. Taking that breath. And on that next inhale, walk those feet up to those hands. Fold over the legs. And inhale all the way up. Bring those arms. Exhale them down. We'll release those hands down by the sides. We're going to move into a little balance here on the, let's see, we'll start with that right leg. So let those legs come down, let those arms come down, float off to the side. Kind of help us with that balance and find that point that's directly in front of us on the floor that's not moving, that can help us balance, that we can focus on throughout the balances here. So we'll start to roll those right toes up. Starting to slowly lift those toes up off the mat. Bring that knee up, hold here. And then open that knee off to the side. Take that foot, either place it on the calf, place it down on the ankle with that toe on the mat to kind of help with the balance. Or you can grab hold of that foot and put it on that inner thigh. When we feel balanced, we'll take those arms, bring them up. Hold here for a couple breaths. So we're opening up those hips nice and wide here, using the breath to help us balance. Holding for one more breath. And then we're slowly going to let the arms just kind of come out to the side, coming straight out, holding them here. We're going to slowly release that foot, bring that knee up into the chest, and we're just going to hold here with that foot flexed in front of us, so almost like we're stepping on that floor, just holding that leg up, keeping that balance here. And then exhale, slowly bring that foot down. Relax those arms down and give those legs a little shake here. And then we'll come to the top of that mat. Inhale, bring those arms up, gaze up towards the thumbs. Exhale, open those arms out wide, swan dive over the legs. Inhale, slide those hands coming halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step that right leg back into a long lunge here. Dropping down onto that knee, untuck that toe. On the inhale, sweep those arms up, bringing that gaze up. Exhale, folding back forward. We're going to inhale, popping that left leg back to a high plank or onto the knees. Exhale, come all the way down. Untuck those toes. Inhale, lift that chest. Exhale, down. Inhale, push back to down dog. Hold here for a breath. On the next inhale, walk the feet up to the hands. Folding ourselves over the legs. And inhale, come all the way up. Bring those arms. Exhale them down. You can keep the hands here right over the heart and slowly start to toe heel those feet out so they're about hip distance apart here. And then we'll slowly start to sink those hips back, coming into our chair pose. So we'll release the hands and swing them forward alongside the head, tucking those tailbones in so we're not arching the back. All that weight's in those heels, so we're light on the toes. The gaze is forward here, and we'll hold for a couple breaths. On the next inhale, popping ourselves up. Exhale the arms down. And we're going to kind of move into another little balance, so I'll move here. So still keeping that right leg down. So we'll inhale, bring the arms up. And then we're going to start to kind of shift our weight into that right foot, slowly lifting that left leg up off the mat. So we're tilting over to the right, lifting that leg. And we can kind of open the arms as we kind of get there to help a little bit with that balance. So that left foot is flexing out. So we're trying to keep as much length in that right leg as we can without bending that knee. Again, sometimes we kind of tend to open those arms out wide, which is fine. So we're kind of like a, I don't know, crooked star, I guess you could say. Hold here for a couple breaths. And then slowly tilt ourselves back down. And exhale the arms down. Shake those legs out. Coming back to the top of our mats. We'll inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, open the arms, swan dive over the legs. Inhale, slide those hands coming halfway. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, we're going to come all the way up. Bring those arms. Exhale them down. All right, we're going to move into that tree pose on that other side. So letting those arms come down, helping with that balance. So that left leg now is that planted foot. Or right leg is the planted foot. Letting the arms come out. And then finding our spot here that is going to help us with balance. So slowly start to roll up those left toes. Bringing them up off the mat. Holding here for just a second. And then opening that leg out wide. Taking that foot, either placing it on that calf, up on that inner thigh, or sliding it down on that ankle with those toes up on the mat to help with that balance. And when we feel ready, we'll bring those arms up and hold here for those couple breaths. Again, opening those hips nice and wide here. And using the breath to help us with our balance. We'll hold for one more breath. And then slowly start to bring those arms out, just straight out from those shoulders. Releasing that foot from the other leg. Bring that knee up and flex that foot in front of us. So it's like we're taking that big step and holding here. Again, keeping that right leg straight down. Using that balance here, using that breath. And then exhale, let that leg come down. Let those arms come down and shake those legs out. And then coming to the top of our mats here. Inhale, bring those arms up, gaze up towards those thumbs. Exhale, open those arms out wide, swan dive over those legs. Inhale, sliding those hands coming halfway. Exhaling down. Inhale, stepping that left leg back. Placing that knee down onto the mat, untucking those toes. Inhale, sweep those arms up. Exhale, folding back down. Inhale, taking that right foot, stepping back to that high plank. Exhale, coming down onto the mat. Untuck those toes. Inhale, sweep that chest up. Exhale, down. Inhale, pushing back to that down dog. Taking that breath here. And then on that next inhale, walk those feet up to those hands. Folding ourselves over the legs. And inhale, come all the way up. Bring those arms. Exhale them down. And while we're here in this standing pose, take that moment to toe heel those feet so they're about that hip distance apart. And then slowly start to sink those hips down like we're going to sit into that chair. And release the hands, swing them around alongside the head. Again, that weight's all in the heels, so light on the toes. And tuck those tailbones to try to avoid the arch in that lower back. Gaze is forward here. And take a few breaths. And on that next inhale, pop ourselves up. And exhale those arms down. And we'll move to that little balance on that other side here. So inhale, bring the arms up. And then slowly start to shift all that weight into that left foot, releasing that right foot up off the mat, coming off to the side. And again, we can open those arms out wide. So we're that crooked star here, flexing that right foot so those toes are pointing straight ahead. Holding here for a couple breaths. And we'll release it all down. Exhale those arms down and shake it out. Come up to the tops of our mats. We'll inhale, bring those arms up, gaze up towards those thumbs. Exhale, open those palms out wide, swan dive over the legs. Inhale, slide those hands to me halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step those feet back to that high plank. And we're going to hang out here for a couple breaths and move through a couple different plank variations. So if your knees are dropped down onto those knees, feel free at any point. Make sure if we're down on those knees that we're not all the way up, that we have that angle, those shoulders or those wrists are right under those shoulders. We're going to hold here. And then we're going to move to a right side plank here. So if we want, we can take that right knee, drop it down onto the mat, and kind of rotate that foot so it's off to the side, rotating the left foot so it becomes parallel with the mat, and then bringing ourselves up. So we're on that knee, giving us that support here. Or if we want to go to that full pose, and from our plank, we'll just start to shift those feet over, rolling up onto that right hand. Bring that gaze up towards the sky. Wherever you're at, just hold there. You can always take the left arm and just kind of drape it over the lower back or let it rest down the side as well if it needs a little bit of a break. And then slowly start to roll that left arm back down to the mat, bringing that right knee back in. And we're going to step back to that high plank here. Again, we can drop down onto the knees, but we're going to roll to that other side here after we hold this for just a couple breaths. And then we'll roll to that other side so we can take that left knee, dropping it down onto the mat, folding that foot out, and then rolling that right foot so it's parallel with the mat, bringing ourselves up, lifting that right arm up towards the sky. Or again, if we want to do the full pose here, we'll just start to roll those feet over, shifting that weight over, bringing that arm up. Wherever we're at, we'll hold there for a few breaths. And then exhale, bring that arm down, folding back. And if we're up in that plank, drop to those knees, stick those big toes together, shift those hips down over the heels, slide those hands up, drop that forehead down to the mat. Take those breaths. If those arms need a little break, you can take them alongside the body or alongside the legs here. And just let them get a little bit of a rest here. Taking our opportunity right now to catch the breath if we've lost it. We're allowing ourselves to refocus on it. Take a couple more breaths here. And if we have arms alongside the legs, we'll take them and walk them straight out. And start to bring yourself up onto those hands and those knees. And take those toes behind us, tuck them on the mat, start to lift those hips up. Taking a couple breaths here. Feel free to pedal the feet out anytime we're in our down dog, allowing the backs of those legs to stretch out a little bit more. Take a few breaths here. On the next inhale, we're going to lift the right leg with a bend in the knee. As we exhale, shift that knee forward, drop that foot between those thumbs. Take a moment here to kind of toe heel that foot over to the side a little bit so we're on those railroad tracks and that foot's not directly behind, or the feet are not directly behind each other. Take the hands up on that thigh, give ourselves a little help up. Again, once we're standing, we can always readjust that stance. And we'll inhale here, bring those arms up. And we'll keep that gaze forward. Taking those couple breaths here. Settling into the pose. Try to relax those toes so we're not clenching them down into the mat. And then on the next exhale, fold ourselves over that front leg. Take that back knee, drop it down onto the mat, untuck those toes. Start to shift those hips back, coming up onto that front heel. You can kind of come up a little bit so we're not shifting and making it awkward. If we're all the way up, we'll inhale, bring those arms up. And exhale, fold ourselves over that front leg, just hinging at those hips. Trying to keep as much length in that back as we can so we're not rounding ourselves over that front leg. If we have to put a bend in that knee, that's okay. If you have blocks or pillows or anything, you can also take those and stack them right by the leg to kind of bring ourselves up a little bit if that stretch is a little bit too intense. And take those deep breaths here. Sending all the breath down into the back of the leg. We'll hold this for just a couple extra breaths to allow the back of that leg to release. Starts to get pretty tight throughout the day. So that's why we hold these poses for just a little bit longer. And then we'll slowly start to put a bend back into that front knee, coming down, bringing that foot just kind of in however we get there. We're going to take the back foot, tuck it up, or bring that knee up, step that front foot back into a down dog. So our next pose here is a little bit advanced. So feel free to just kind of watch and then practice later if you want. But what we'll do is we're going to take that right foot, bring it up off the mat with a bend in the knee. As we exhale, we're going to start to shift that knee forward and then start to kick it off to the side, letting that foot rest down and flexing that foot. And then we're going to rotate the back foot so it's parallel with the mat, start to shift our weight into that right hand, bring ourselves up and kind of over into a little bit of a back bend here. So we're flexing that right foot, Holding here for just a couple breaths. And then exhale, bring that right or left arm back down, bending that back or rotate that back foot, bringing that knee back, stepping back, coming into that down dog. We'll hold here for a couple breaths. That's called a falling triangle or fallen triangle. We'll get an opportunity to practice on that other side as well. All right, on that next inhale, lifting that left foot this time with a bend in the knee. As we exhale, shifting that foot forward, dropping that foot between those thumbs. And taking that opportunity again here to kind of toe heel that foot over so those feet aren't directly behind each other. And then taking that hands up on that side, bringing ourselves up. And adjusting that stance once we're up into that standing pose. And inhale, bring those arms up. And we'll hold here, taking those deep breaths. Again, resting or sinking into our pose. Feeling strong in that front foot. And up on the ball of that foot, that back foot. Again, try not to clench down those front toes. Just let them relax down on the mat. Take those deep breaths. We'll hold here for one more breath. And then slowly start to bring ourselves down over that front leg, placing those hands on the mat. And dropping down onto that back knee, untucking those toes. And why don't we shift our weight back, bring ourselves fully up, and then straighten that front leg, make it a little bit easier coming up onto that heel. And inhale, we'll bring those arms up. And exhale, hinging at the hips, folding over that leg. Again, trying to keep as much length in that back as we can without rounding over that front leg. If you have those blocks or those pillows or anything, you can set them on either side of that leg right here. Help bring us up. Again, you can always have a bend in that front knee if the stretch is a little bit too intense. But holding this one for just that extra time to allow that leg to relax. So send that breath down that leg. I might have forgotten to say this on the other side, but if you need to add some extra to the stretch, you can take the toes, flex them up towards the body. That'll give more stretch down the back of the leg. Or you can take the right hand and kind of bring it alongside the pinky side toe or pinky toe side of the left foot and give it a little stretch as well. I'm holding here for just a couple more breaths. And then slowly starting to put that bend in that front knee. Kind of sliding that knee back a little bit so you can bring those hands onto the mat. Tucking those back toes, stepping that front foot back to that down dog. Taking those couple breaths here. Again, feel free to pedal those feet out. Take those extra breaths here to prepare us for that fallen triangle on the other side. So take those couple breaths. And then on that next inhale, lifting that left foot with that bend in the knee. As we exhale, start to shift that knee forward and then take that foot, thread it through that other leg, placing the pinky toe side down onto the floor, flexing that foot, rotate that back foot so it's up on, or so we're parallel to the mat, lifting the right arm and kind of stretching it over. So we have a little bit of a back bend, or we can just come straight up and down. Holding for just a couple breaths here. Keeping that toe flexed or that foot flexed. And then exhale, bring that right arm down, come up onto those back toes. Slide that foot back in, step back to down dog. Take one breath here. And then let those knees come down to the floor. Bring those big toes together. And it's your choice if you want to walk the knees wide on the mat or just sink them straight, sink the hips straight down, forehead down to the mat. And again, we can take those arms, bring them alongside those legs to give them that little bit of extra rest here. And take that breath. And always using this child's pose to catch that breath if we've lost it. Or to allow us the time to refocus on it. And take a couple more breaths down here. And then if we have those those arms down alongside those legs, we'll take the hand, walk them out, and come up onto those hands and those knees. And then make our way to have a seat onto our mats. Taking those feet straight out in front of us. Kind of give those legs a little wiggle. And then let those arms come down alongside the body. And we'll inhale, bring those arms up. And as we exhale, fold straight over those legs. Take a few breaths here. Trying to keep the length in our back. So we feel as though we have a string coming straight up from the crown of the head, just pulling us straight up. So we're not rounding that upper back over those legs. Again, we can always have a bend in those knees. Take those deep breaths here. And then take those hands alongside the legs, slowly start to walk ourselves back up. And then take those feet in together, sliding those feet in towards the hips. And then rocking side to side. So we're up on those sit bones. And then coming back, center, take a deep inhale. And on the exhale, fold ourselves over those legs. Again, trying to keep the length in the back here. So we're not rounding that upper back over those feet. So we have that string pulling that head straight up. And take those deep breaths here. And then take those hands, placing them on the floor, slowly starting to push ourselves back up. We'll take those hands under those knees, help those legs out. Straighten those legs back out. And then we're going to take that left foot, placing it up on the mat. Cross that foot over. And then, so it's placed about on the outside of that right knee. Sitting up nice and tall here. Take an inhale. And as we exhale, twist that upper body towards that bent leg, taking that right arm alongside that thigh. And twisting, gazing over that back shoulder. And take those deep breaths. We'll wait for a couple more breaths here. And then slowly start to bring ourselves back forward. We'll take that left leg, straightening it out. And then take that right leg, place that foot on the mat. And cross that leg over. So we're on about the outside of that knee. Sitting up nice and tall here. Take a deep inhale. And as we exhale, twisting that upper body towards that bent leg, taking that left arm alongside that thigh, bringing that gaze over that back shoulder. And take those deep breaths. Holding it for a couple more breaths here. And then slowly starting to bring ourselves back forward. We'll uncross that foot, straighten that leg out, give those legs a little shake. And then we'll start to make our way all the way down onto our backs. Take those arms out like a lowercase t, having those feet up on the mat. And then straighten those legs as much as we can. They don't have to be very straight here. And then we're just going to point and flex the toes. And circle the ankles. And then go the other direction. And then bend those knees up and down. And then keep those knees bent. Take the hands, take a hold of the outside of those feet, bringing those knees into those armpits so those feet are pointing straight up towards the sky, and then slowly rock side to side here. Giving ourselves a little massage on that spine. Maybe there's one spot that we need to hold just a little bit longer before rotating to that other side. And then we'll slowly start to release those feet, letting those legs come all the way down onto the mat. And taking the arms up overhead, doing one final stretch here. So stretch those arms all the way up, stretch those legs all the way down. Full body stretch, almost like we're just waking up in the morning. And then release it all down onto the mat. Let those legs fall to wherever's comfortable. Take those arms, let them come alongside the body. Start to close the eyes. Start to focus on the breath. Feeling the breath move in through the nose. Feeling it go down the back of the throat. Fill those lungs before moving down to those fingertips and toe tips. And then feel it leave the body on that same path with each exhale. Taking this time to clear the mind of any thoughts you might have. Release any tensions you might be holding. Letting them all just melt away with each exhale. Allowing ourselves to sink deeper and deeper into our mats. You find that you might have a difficult time trying to turn those thoughts off. Try counting the breath. Counting each inhale and each exhale. Allowing yourself this time to not have to worry about anything, to not have to think about anything, to just allow yourself to be in your room and on your mat. Start to bring a little life back into your body by wiggling your fingers and toes. Start to roll your wrists and ankles. Rock your head from side to side. Begin deepening your inhales and exhales. When you feel ready, slowly take one foot, place it on the mat, and follow it by that other foot. And then bring one knee to the chest, followed by the other. Take a hold of the legs and rock side to side. And then when you feel ready, roll onto your right side. With your right side grounded by the earth, leaving your left side open to the sun, the moon, and the stars, and all the gifts the universe has to offer you today. When you feel ready, slowly come up to a comfortable seated position. We'll take the hands, place them in front of the heart, close the eyes one last time. Take a deep inhale and exhale it out. Thank you for sharing your practice with me this evening. I hope you have a great rest of your night. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.